So it's a 16-foot 2x4 that you've pushed down in there.
Yep. It's curving, that's the thing.
See, oh, it heads back towards the middle of the house. All right, so it is week 5 for House in the Corn. Welcome back. If you haven't watched the other videos leading up to this, I encourage you to check those out and kind of see what's going on. But we are following the progress of how this job goes from start to finish. And right now we've got the site completely excavated out where the foundation will go. The concrete guys are about a week behind, and they are supposed to roll in with equipment today. We'll see if that happens. They are supposed to get their steel, their rebar, all the reinforcement material delivered tomorrow, and hopefully as soon as Tuesday or Wednesday of next week actually be standing up wall forms. So by the end of next week we might have concrete walls in place and ready to start some partial backfill, and we'll talk through that. We'll talk through why we don't backfill all the way to the top right off the bat. And so stay tuned. We'll check out progress. We'll see what's going on tomorrow up here and kind of take a look around at that and just kind of go from there. So the sinkhole that we didn't have the other day, well, now we have one in a different spot. I think that in one of the other videos I talked about a seam of topsoil in the corner of the foundation that Matt at DDS had pointed out. This hole that's opened is 15 feet maybe from that topsoil seam that tapered down through there. And he had made the statement, whether I filmed it or not, he'd made the statement that this funnel-shaped V in the topsoil in the excavation was a pretty significant sign of a hole from some time back. And I guess he was right. This thing goes down out of sight pretty far. We're gonna look at it, grab a couple of measurements, and later today be out here to try to excavate this one and see what we've got. I do need night vision goggles.
See what they got on Temu.
There's no doubt about it. So there's the hole. And right there is the seam of topsoil that Matt was talking about. If you look right in that corner, there's kind of a tapered spot, and it tapers back out over through here. And he had made the statement that at some time way back, that was probably a collapse over there. So it's a 16-foot 2x4 that you've pushed down in there.
Yep.
So we've got the guys here, we're digging this thing out. We're gonna try to talk to Matt from DDS here in a few minutes, and that way he can kind of explain a little bit better what's going on. We talked through some possible solutions, one of them being moving the house, and we kind of just thinking about some off-the-cuff numbers, but we think that that's a fairly significant cost because all of the area in between the front wall of the house and what we've got excavated would have to be filled back in. And so we're talking about a massive amount of dirt that we'd have to bring back in, or we've got to lower the house. It's just that there was no good answer with that. He feels confident that if we can find the bottom of this, that we can fix it. And so we'll try to hopefully be able to kind of record that process and see what we're talking about as far as what that repair would look like and what we're doing. He suggested some other testing that we've talked to the owner. We got them on the phone just a few minutes ago to kind of talk through the recommendations and what we could do. And one of those was a electro something resistance test. Maybe Matt can tell us in a minute, but just kind of shows us other void areas that then we would check and verify those spots that there's not anything else wrong. So we'll keep watching them dig. And like I say, hopefully get to talk to Matt with DDS here in a few minutes and learn a little bit more about sinkholes.
Well, I don't know that I can for sure say that, Matt.
But Roger would have told me if he thought there was. His family's owned this for 5 years or something. It looks really strange, doesn't it? But I mean, there's vegetation. So we're almost back to the house in the corn again. It's Friday of week 5. Yesterday, we saw the sinkhole, and we're going to be doing a little bit more work on that today. We're going to be dumping some water down it to just try to see that it drains and we're to the throat. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes, but one of the things we do first is they're going to be proof rolling the entire pad with a loaded dump truck to just try to see if it goes down anywhere, if we create any other fallouts or problems. And so we're going to watch them do that for a little bit. Quite a bit going on today in getting ready for that. One of the things that I failed to mention, something that we did do earlier this week, just trying to keep you updated on really everything that we do on this job, is we met with the local power company, Warren Rural Electric, and the purpose of that meeting is to determine where we're going to get power from. Unlike a subdivision where there's going to be power, just a transformer right out front or a tap box, we don't have that in this situation. And there's power out on the road, overhead, and so it's trying to figure out how we're going to do that and what they'll cover versus what the owner would have to cover. In this case, if you go overhead service to next to the house, the power company just do that. They'll just provide it. And we would go then underground secondary from that pole to the house. If we go underground all the way, the power company will still pay for the wire and they'll pull it, but we've got to set the transformer pad, we've got to install the conduit, and so the owner is going to be out the expense of ditch digging and the conduit and conduit installation. So a little bit more cost to the owner, but they don't have to deal with an overhead power pole. So there's not been a decision yet reached on that, but we should have that coming up here pretty soon. So stick around, let's see what's going on today.
Park around for David Elliott.
I swear, I think it's pumping a little bit. Have him turn to the left just a little bit and run over that spot.
But I don't know. I don't think it's pumping right there.
So Matt, kind of tell us what is this sinkhole, because we've got a couple different types that we can have, and so what is this one, and what are we kind of looking at here?
This is your typical sinkhole you see in Warren County. We've got a hole or an opening in the top of bedrock down there, and over time as water has infiltrated and rose up from the bottom, it's carried soil and clay with it, and it creates this as it continues to wash the soil out, it creates this dome. And at the top, when the surface can no longer support itself, it drops out. So the owner came by here the other day, saw a surface opening about, I don't know, 8 inches diameter, and we came out and started digging, and as Jason will show you here, here's what we have now. So what we try to do is we try to find the throat of the sinkhole. And by doing that, we use excavators, try to clean it out. We also use water to try to identify where the opening is. Well, we put water in this hole. First test, it didn't take any water. It went down, you know, a little bit, not much. So we cleaned it out a little bit again. We put another run of water in it, and then it just, we found a big opening right here on the, looks like the west side of this excavation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try to chase it out to where we can identify this throat in the top of bedrock.
So a little update for where we're at at the conclusion of week 5 for the house in the corn. The sinkhole is here. We're going to probably have excavators here next week to try and start opening this thing up and seeing if we can get to the throat of this joker and find out what in the world is going on and get it capped and built back up. So that's it. We talked to the owner today, and he is of the impression, as we are, that, you know, if we move it, we're probably going to just find a hole somewhere else. And we've abandoned all of this work that's been done at that point. We're having to redo it all and start over from scratch versus just trying to fix this and keep going. So that's kind of where we're at, and we'll see what is in store for us next week.